Alright, so today I'm going to be covering the relatively difficult to understand process of protein synthesis. There's a lot of technical terms here, so bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and use some Legos in order to make the process a little bit easier to understand. Alright guys, so here's our rudimentary construction of a DNA molecule made from Legos. The first part of protein synthesis is called transcription, and this allows mRNA to be made from a DNA template. The first step of this process is an RNA molecule sneaks in through some little pores in the nucleus and uses something called RNA polymerase to unzip the DNA molecule and line up the RNA nucleotides, which are these things here. They were here before, but that's only because it's hard to operate a camera while playing with Legos. So the RNA nucleotides will line up with the DNA nucleotides. And what this does is it forms some mRNA. A stop signal will be received at some point, and the mRNA will detach. And it will then begin its journey back outside the nucleus through those same little pores and head for some ribosomes. Alright, so before we get into the second step of protein synthesis, I kind of wanted to cover a few terms and sort of what the objects do individually before describing more in depth of how they work together. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about are these little things called ribosomes. That is a ribosome, and also an alligator, because why not? So, ribosomes are made up of RNA and protein, and they're basically protein-making factories that read codons. These here are codons. They are 3 bases that are on the messenger RNA molecule. So, the ribosomes, they read the mRNA code and add the correct amino acid using transfer RNA. This is transfer RNA. Now on this side of the transfer RNA, we have 3 little pieces here. This one's a little bit easier to see. 3 little pieces there. And those are called anticodons. And on this side, we've got an amino acid. So I've kind of gone over these basic individual pieces that are going to be used in this second step of protein synthesis that is known as translation. So we'll begin that now. Alright, so the first thing to note about the second step of protein synthesis, called translation, is that it happens in the cytoplasm of the cell, as opposed to the first step of protein synthesis known as transcription, which happens mostly in the nucleus. So the first step of translation happens when mRNA wanders around and finds a awesome ribosome. And then what it will do is it'll attach itself to the ribosome. Okay, so the next thing that happens is that the tRNA from the ribosome, which is this funky little thing on this ribosome / alligator's back here, we'll go ahead and bring in that first amino acid, as well as line up its anticodons with the codons. So next, another tRNA molecule moves in, and then what that does, it's pretty much the same thing, only it will at this point form a peptide bond between the amino acids, and those amino acids will stick together. What will happen after that is that the first tRNA molecule will detach. This little ticker tape thing will go ahead and move and make room for the next tRNA molecule to come through. And once again, codons line up with anticodons, and once again, the peptide bond will happen, and the amino acids will stick together. And this process pretty much continues until a stop codon is reached. And after that stop code is reached, the protein is formed. It's pretty much formed fully. It just needs to fold in on itself a little bit. We'll call that the weird shaped protein. And once it is fully formed and folded on itself, it's ready to go out into the world and fulfill its destiny. And this is the process of protein synthesis. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed my video on protein synthesis. I'm sure some of you are cringing at the pronunciation of some of the molecules in the video. If there's any other errors that you've noticed, go ahead and feel free to shoot me a message and let me know what I got wrong. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and head out now. I've got a lot of Legos to put away, so I just hope that I don't step on one in the process.